This is a story of Skylar. She is the 10% that does not qualify for the modulators and the drugs that are currently keeping my lungs clean and healthy. Skylar's story is incredible and sobering and sad and beautiful, because with a lonely disease, feeling like you're the bottom 10% and you're forgotten, it's something that I personally never want you to feel. And if you're out there listening and you are that bottom 10%, just know that we're here for you. For those of us that don't understand what not qualifying for modulators as that last 10% feels like, Skylar's going to explain it to you right here. What would you say to those people that really need to know what's happening and who else is being affected?
It's really not what would I say, it's actually what I do say. And usually it's not to be mean or rude or make people feel some type of way.
Yeah.
But I try to be as blunt as possible in saying, like, I will not see a cure for CF in my lifetime. I won't, and I believe that wholeheartedly. And it's not because I don't believe in the research and I don't believe in the work that's being done. Mm-hmm. It's that I do believe in the statistic, and and it's funny, it's actually family members who are usually the hardest
I don't think
to talk to, because they see these articles and they're like, this is you, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you're good. And I'm like, no, actually, think of it as this extremely long list of, in order of these genetic diseases, and we're here. Those articles are addressing these top, 15. I'm down here. Like, I'm hanging out at like 45. I'm the last on the list. And it's different, even to talk to people like you who are on modulators. You could look at the database and you're one of thousands. Yeah. But when I look at the database and I scroll down to the number on my arm, it's one of one. Mm-hmm. And one of one, or one of 15. And it's like, whoa. And to know, like, we're living in such a world where everything is documented, mm-hmm. and you know that that's accurate. Yeah. In terms of the United States, right? Mm-hmm. Like, right. Our national database, that is right. And it's like, sometimes you walk around with that knowledge and that's so heavy and no one understands that. Mm. And it becomes hard because, like we said, to be part of the 10%, of the 10%, yes, there are some of us that speak out, but not all of us speak out.
Right.
And so the majority of people that we see in the cystic fibrosis community speaking up are people who are benefiting. So you feel alone already by having CF in a world of normal people. I don't know what normal is, but you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. But then you take that and it's like you feel even more abnormal with a group of people who you're supposed to feel like. And to see, like, it's easier when you see it in the numbers. Yeah. Because the numbers are terrifying. You have roughly 40,000
in the U.S.
in the United States living with CF, and it's like you start at the top of this list, right? And it's like it's adding up to 40,000, and then you get to the bottom, it's like me. And I don't share that with a single living person that we know of. And it's expected that there's nobody internationally with those either. Because there was a lot of research, my pediatric team did when they said, wow, they told my parents, we figured out what this second mutation is. Never seen it before. No one's seen it before. We don't know what to tell you, right? And then the database got a little bit more updated, mm-hmm. and There was, I think, one other living person when I was like 9 or 10.
Wow.
But they've passed. So it's just, you have billions of people on this earth. You narrow that down to 40,000.
Yep.
You narrow the 40,000 down to 8,000. You narrow the 8,000 down to me. Like, literally, if you want somebody to represent the last man standing, it's me, literally. Like, and that feeling is, it's almost like you have an unspoken, like, job, kind of. And it's this, I was put on this earth maybe to not enjoy parts of life, but to make it so that other people can. And it's kind of this, I don't know, it's this mindset that I've always had since I was younger. And it was, if I do this, then another kid doesn't. And I even had that mindset when I was in like 1st and 2nd grade. When, oh, we need you to cough up sputum because they're gonna test it to see if we can find a cure. And I would say, okay, like let's do it. And even though those things weren't fun to me, I continued to do them because, again, I had this mindset that if I ever had a kid in my class with CF, which obviously that wouldn't happen, but I would never want them to go through what I go through. So if I cough in this cup right now, they don't have to do that. Yeah. And as I got older, it became, okay, well, I'm this adult, right? I wouldn't live to see 5. I wouldn't live to see 18. I wouldn't live to go to college. Okay. Well, now we've done those things. Yeah. So it feels like my life has become, what can I do in my lifetime to leave as much data behind so that other children, because again, that 10% won't go away. If someone ends up becoming the other person with my genetics, there's something, because I don't want them to ever not know how I felt. There's no data on you. There's no data on people like you. We don't know what we're looking at. We can't tell you what the answer is, but if they could say, well, we've got a little bit to work with, then that changes things. So
that there's a Greek proverb that I almost live by now, but it says, good men plant trees fully understanding that they'll never take advantage of the shade it brings.
Right.
And that's exactly what you're doing.
Right.
And by definition, that makes you a very good person.
I hope so.
I wouldn't worry about that. You try. You try to be a good person. That's what anyone can do. We all have demons. I've said it.
I think I see it more from like my mom's point of view.
Yeah.
I've watched like the silent moments where my mom thought she was by herself, but maybe I was around the corner, and she would cry or she would pray. And like those types of moments where I knew, gosh, there's another mom who would have to go through this. Yeah. And I don't have to have my own children to understand that. Right. It was just, if I saved another mom from feeling that way, like, that'd be the best case scenario. It would, or even just the things that I endured as a kid, like not having a normal routine, or I've never played in the leaves. I've never jumped in a leaf pile, Yeah. I can't swim in indoor pools. I can't go to water parks. Yep. It's like those are things that are core memories for other people, and it's like a joint collective. Like everybody could agree that a water park is fun. Like, and it's just things I didn't get to do. And so if I could take that away in some aspect, I would.
Okay. Well, it's very admirable.
Thank you.
You went to, so in high school, I had the experience of like, should I go, right? There's no point. Based on the data that they're showing and based on the information I'm given, based on my numbers, I'm doing better than most I'm doing better than many, but not as good as most. So like,
Right.
I was in a weird spot. And the cough was getting harder on me. And then I was like, well, and I went through this phase where I was like, I'm not going to college. What's the point? I'm not going to get to experience it the same way. Did you have, I ultimately went, and I appreciate that I went, but did you have that same kind of experience where at 14 and 15 you were trying to decide, like, what do? Do I just stay home with my parents, or?
No.
No, you went.
And that's where I think I'm very different from, I think a lot of people felt how you felt.
Yeah.
But I very much knew that I was the minority in that mindset too, yeah. Because I wanted to go to college. Like the way that other kids were like, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor. I was like, I want to go to college. I want to go to college. I don't know what it was. I don't have older siblings. Yeah. Neither of my parents are college graduates. People in my family aren't college graduates. There's a few. So it was not something that I had seen.
Yeah.
But in my head, I was like, I want to go to college. Like I had this mindset, and it was always, I was in a cap and a gown, and I was in some cool heels, some black pumps, walking across the stage. And I didn't know what the degree was in these dreams, and yeah. I didn't know, where I was acquiring it, but I just knew that I wanted to go to college. And my mom was like, you can do whatever you want. Because the mindset that I grew up on is can't never did anything. Can't never did anything. And when I tell you, like, empty the dishwasher. No, I don't want to. Can't never did anything. Yeah. And I don't want to get my blood drawn. Can't never did anything. And so it became like, no, literally, can't never did anything.
Yeah.
And she never told me I couldn't do something. Oh, ever. Never.
Yeah.
If I said and most often I said I wanted to do a lot of things, and she'd be like, do you think I'm made of money?
Yeah.
But she would always try.
Yeah.
And so I was never in an environment where I had some of those, experiences that you had. Yeah. And my care team as well. Never. I can never recall a time
well, they said don't do that.
Where there were a few.
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
don't
I'm
try
about
that.
to say.
But
they've told me a couple times.
It maybe didn't say it, but the look.
Yeah.
Dr. Charles Esther, you could ask him.
Yeah.
Whew, his eyes would give that. I don't like that, but I'm not gonna say no. But they never, when it came to education or future careers, it was always, what do you want to do? And then I would say it, and they would say, that is incredible.
Yeah.
That was it. And so some of it I wish was a little more honest, maybe more reality, because it did hit me like a ton of bricks when I realized
yeah.
in my adult life that, this is not like what they said. Yeah. This is not fun. Yeah. I'm not having fun. I want a refund. Yeah. But they never told me no. So my mindset was, if I want something bad enough, you'll find a way to make it happen. And I just kind of, the second I graduated high school, and I stepped foot on that college campus.
Yeah. That was
people through the years were like, into my sophomore year, they were like, you're really sick. Are you thinking about staying in like family yeah. members? Thinking about staying in college? Well, never thought about leaving. Yeah. Have you seen my bill? Yeah. I'm getting something out of this. Yeah, I was like, I don't think so. Yeah. And at that point, it was more than college. Like I had said I wanted to go to college, but it became, I have this passion for learning about the human brain and learning about people's emotions and learning about how to help people. And then it evolved into, I have these artistic, creative skills that I can use to help people in the mental health realm that I became passionate about. And then it became, I have these friends that I love, and I play these sports that when I'm in the competition setting, I don't have CF.
Yeah.
And it was people preached and preached and preached and preached for me to have a hobby and to have an outlet.
Yep.
And it was like, I had found it.
Yep.
I had started cheerleading in college, or in high school. I had started cheerleading in high school. And a little bit in middle school, but not like the competitive mindset until high school.
Yeah.
And it became my whole life.
Yeah.
Because I had only ever been this girl with CF, always.
Yeah.
And it's not my parents' fault at all for making me that mindset. I love that they did that because I take my care and my health extremely seriously, and that's why I talk about CF.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like this whole newfound experience and this whole new personality that I got. And I got to be this version of myself that was, you know, strong physically.
Yeah.
I looked like other girls a little bit. I, you know, became this body that was flying through the air and not the body that was on the table.
Yep.
And I was like, you know, the athletic world is for me. This is where it's at. And it was, I didn't even see how hard it was for the longest time. I was wearing rose-colored glasses until I graduated college. I loved sports. And then when I started lacrosse, my junior year of college with no previous experience, right? Mm. I was like, which that story's wild, right? So I'm doing my college thing.
Yeah.
Captain of my cheerleading team. I'm like, yeah, you know, I've been cheerleading for like 13 years by that point. I was like on and off, different levels. Like I'm kind of getting kind of burnt out, you know?
Yeah.
And the CF is kicking a little bit. And the talk of people with CF have transplants is like kind of bouncing off the walls a little bit, but not really. And I thought, God, I wish I was maybe even more active, because if I were more active, I'd be healthier and all these things. And I remember I had a doctor's appointment the same week. My lung function had taken a incredible hit, down from like 65 to, I want to say 53, 54. And that's the lowest at that time that my lung function had ever been. And that was on a Tuesday. And on that Friday, I was at a college get-together, if you will. And one of my best friends came up to me, not really knowing each other at all at the time. She says, I'm on the women's lacrosse team and you should play lacrosse. I said, girl, do you know who I am?
Yeah.
She goes, yeah, you're a cheerleader, right? I was like, yeah, but I can't run. She was like, no, it's okay. Like, it's more skill. I'm like, no, lacrosse is running.
Yeah.
And she was like, we'll teach you the skills. And I'm like, I've never played lacrosse before. And you don't know this, but I have a lung disease.
Yeah.
And my lung function is like 54%. I don't think I can do this. She's like, no, trust me. Trust me, you can. She's like, we will take care of you. And I was like, and I remember the conversation ended there. Well, no, it ended with, we'll take care of you. I know you're thinking about it. Text me. Come on. And I was like, and I thought about it for 2 days. She said, fall ball practice starts on Monday. And I thought about it for 2 days. Yeah. And I was like, I quite literally asked God what I was supposed to do. I said, I want more time. I'm not ready. The route that I was going, if I wasn't going to be more rigorous with my lungs, I was not going to make it through college. And I was like, what am I supposed to do? And I was like, and one of my friends at the time knocked on my door and was like, come on. It was 10:30 at night. She said, we're going outside to pass. I said, and she had 2 lacrosse sticks in her hand. She said, we're joining the team on Monday. I was like, this is insane. She's like, we're playing NCAA lacrosse. I was like, okay. So I called my mom on Saturday. I said, I have to come home. I have to buy cleats. She goes, oh God, for what? I said, I'm playing lacrosse. She's like, lacrosse? She's like, don't you have to run? I'm like, yeah. So, moral of the story is I played for 3 seasons as a starter on offense, mainly standing on offense.
Yep.
An occasional run through the midfield. Never defense.
Yeah.
No. But it was the best decision I've ever made in my life, like to this day. The person that I am is because of the athlete that I was at Pfeiffer.
Got it.
Playing lacrosse.
Yeah.
And it did buy me more time. I was able to keep a manageable lung function and a manageable health, reasonably so.
Yep.
You know, until I walked across the stage. And best decision of my life.
That's cool.
Absolute
That's
best
really
decision of
cool.
my life. So, scored a couple goals.
Yup.
Cool.
Well done.
Cool. I was just there to stay active. But that was cool. And then I ended up being the assistant coach briefly for last season.
Got it.
So, but it's become the thing that I want to return to the most. It's kind of, I would say there's 3 or 4 main reasons why I want to have a lung transplant now, and lacrosse is one of them.
Cool.
So, yeah.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I actually had an opposite reaction to sports. I played sports all through high school. I played around, you know, I swam and stuff in college, but not collegiately. I just like would jump in a pool.
Right.
But when I was 30-ish, I joined like a 30 and over soccer team here in Raleigh, and I was like, I could do this. It'd be fine. And what happened was I would play, but then my cough would get so bad that people on my team, who I'm friends with to this day, were like, dude, you got to go get checked out. Something is wrong. And I'm like, nah, everything's fine. And I would run again, but I would like hold my breath when I would run because I didn't want to cough. So it got to the point where I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just not do this anymore. This is not worth me not talking about. So I stopped completely. And then I got on a modulator and I ran, I went to Charleston with 2 guys in our families, but I ran the bridge without trying. And I was like, okay, well that wasn't terrible. I got my lung function back. And then in Wilmington, I ran a half marathon and literally my legs gave out before my lungs did. So ever since then, I've just been like, yeah, I think I'm okay.
That's sweet.
I really need to do something else with my life. I need to exercise more. But I mean, there was a good 6 years where I was like, I don't want to exercise in front of anybody because it was too annoying.
The burden of that is unreal. Like,
Yeah.
and coming from, I mean, I did play at collegiate level in 2 sports.
Yeah.
Where everyone should be at their peak.
Yeah.
Like at their peak performance. Meanwhile, I think what people didn't notice or didn't know from watching was it might have looked like I was hanging out on the sideline a lot.
Yeah.
And that's because I was. But it's also because,
I'm trying to breathe.
you know, what they didn't see was during pregame warm-up, I ran behind the shed and coughed up blood for 20 minutes before I could come back.
Yep.
Now the trainer won't let me play.
Yep.
You know, and it's like,
Yep.
I was managing, it's just different. And it's a different, you know, I would go to lift with the team at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And anyone with CF knows that mornings are, anyone who's not on a modulator
Yeah.
with CF knows that mornings are the worst time ever.
Yeah.
Because your lungs have just been sitting all night.
Yeah. All of that mucus kind of settles in your cilia, just like a smoker. So like when the smoker wakes up and they have a smoker's cough, it's because all of the tar and mucus has just like settled to one side. So when you stand up, you're just trying to cough everything up.
It's like immediate exercise.
It's immediate, yeah. And
the
it's
second you wake up in the morning, and it's immediately your body hates itself and it hates you. And
Yep.
and so, you know, what people didn't see was that I was waking up at 3:45 in the morning in college
Yep.
because
To do a nebulizer treatment.
I had to
or
do my
airway
treatments.
clearance, yeah.
but I also had to allow myself enough time to hack a lung
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
by the time I was ready to work out with everyone else at 6 a.m., they didn't see what really was happening. And that was coughing blood, vomiting, broken blood vessels in my face from coughing. Like,
Yeah.
you know, things that people don't think about, especially in the athletic realm.
Yep.
Especially because, you know, when it looks like your athlete is taking a break, well, you're not in shape.
Yeah, right.
You shouldn't have drank last night.
Yep.
No, some of us were up at 3 a.m. trying to function for this 6 a.m. practice because you want to teach us a lesson.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then because I decided to be a dual sport athlete, I would go to bed at, by the time I was done with cheer at 9 or 9:30, sometimes 10 because I was a captain and I would stay after. Then after homework for a double major, I'm going to bed at 11:30, waking up at 3:45. When I tell you, that man handed me my degree and I thought, I have done more work than every person sitting in this room.
Yeah.
We were outside, but
Yeah.
I've done more work than everybody sitting here and I know that. And it was a moment of, it's okay for me to admit that
Yeah.
because I've been hiding it for so long. Just to meet the bare minimum of what everyone else has to do, I have to be exceptionally my best every single moment of every single day. And a lot of people would look back on it and be really, really hateful and upset about that. But I'm actually really glad. I think that that's half the reason that I am the person that I am right now, sitting in the chair, is college athletics, is sports in general. And it saved me from the terrible, horrible, awful of CF and what it was going to take from me. And it did buy me more time. I wouldn't have met my fiance. I wouldn't get to even think about a wedding. So
I think there's a common theme when you are inherently dealing with a chronic disease. It's like your mindset always is like, why is this stuff worrying me? I have a chronic disease. There's no time. Like, I don't have the time to think. I don't have a time to overthink. I don't have, like, what's my 5-year plan? I'll give
I
you
love
a
that
future,
question.
like, it's future
I love
plan,
that
but
question.
yeah, like,
when people ask me that,
where do you,
when I had college projects that were
Yeah.
5-year plans, I am not even lying to you. I have submitted research data
to show that
about the 10%, and I said, "This is me, babe. Here you go. We'll see.
anything but an A, I will choke you out.
If I see you in 2026, we're doing good.
Yeah.
Sorry, friend." Like, what? And also, but that's like as a collective, as
Yeah.
people, we've really messed up.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares what the hell you're doing in 5 years?
Yeah.
No one. At least you're there.
Yeah. I mean, so like we had a big group meeting a couple weeks ago with the foundation and trying to figure out like, what is this going to look like? And they made the question. They said, what's your 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, 3 year plan? And I'm thinking, I just want my kids to have something that they can have that makes them happy that CF is a thing.
Right.
Rather than it took my dad.
Right.
So that's my 5-year plan. And I hope everyone knows that. Like, I do want to help people. I do love helping people that need help. I'd love the idea that I can make you feel not so alone.
Right.
But selfishly, like, you know, my kids need a landing spot and I need to create that for them. And I think that's my
Yeah. Same. People ask me why I want a transplant, and the answer is the children that I don't have yet. For me.
to meet them.
Right.
Well, you're worth it.
Thank you.
You deserve it. And for as long as I'm breathing, I will always be there to support you through the foundation to get you that family that you're waiting for on the other side.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Perfect.
And that's why Nicole's here. So
Right.
when I am gone, she takes over.
Shay's just
she
on
refuses
the camera.
to believe
Poor
it.
guy. do you want to go back to the?
Yeah, I do.
didn't-
I do. So how was the walk across this? Like, did you get the pumps? Did you get the hat? You did it?
Okay, the pumps were nude with rainbow polka dots.
Okay.
They were not black.
Loud, of course.
But if you know me, you know that that's more my style.
Loud
anyways.
is the style, yeah.
Yes, I walked across the stage. I was a double major in counseling and human services and psychology, and I was a minor in social justice and studio art. I had goals to go to grad school to...
Give me a 4-5. That was dope.
Thank you. To do art therapy.
Uh-huh.
So using the art skills and creativity, to aid in mental health and those types of things.
Yeah.
Obviously, I kind of realized after I walked across the stage, like, woo!
Not a job.
Wow. Life is expensive. Ouch.
Yeah.
So then I hit the ground running. One of my best friends that was the one who got me into lacrosse.
Yep.
We ended up living together with her now fiance in a house just down the street from our college. And we were like, okay, we're doing it. This is the
Yeah.
real life adult thing. Like, this is so cool. And they went and got jobs, and I had an awesome opportunity in getting my dream job, which, funny enough, had nothing to do with my degree.
Yeah. Paint.
I forever, I say that my dream was to go to college, and that's true. But as a kid in the
Yeah.
playroom, I was always playing teacher. I was always a teacher.
Yep.
Or if I were playing with other kids, I wanted to be the teacher. So when I figured out that my art teacher was a job that I could do one day, I was kind of like, that's cool.
Yeah.
We're putting that on the back burner.
Yep.
So I had an awesome opportunity through some alumni at my college who let me know about an open position at a school like 15 minutes from my house to be an art teacher, an elementary art teacher. And I was like, this is literally my dream job. Like, you have no idea. And art teaching jobs don't open up very often because you usually start in that career and you retire in that career.
Yeah.
And so I was so excited. I get to the school, and I do love the school and the people immensely. I will say that. I still keep in contact with some of the parents,
Yeah.
most of the teachers, and those students are forever ingrained in my brain. But it was a hard situation to be in with CF. I didn't have a classroom, so I was teaching art to 574 students
Out of a cart.
off of a rolling metal mechanic cart. 3 different buildings, not just one. The school campus was 3. And going all day long. And I started that job started moving things in, getting things situated in the school in July. And once school started, we were probably 3 weeks in, and I was loving it. Most people say that when you start teaching, you hate it.
Yeah.
Or you'll realize really quickly that you made a poor mistake. I was the opposite. I believed that
Yeah.
I had a passion for something, and I knew I was exactly where I was supposed to be.
That's
I
cool.
knew it.
That's cool.
And it was just a knack that I had. And I fit the part, and everyone thought I was supposed to be there, and I was loving it. Like, I really understood this phrase, like, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. Like, I
course.
understood that. However, CF did not.
Yep.
And I had forgotten that I wasn't playing sports anymore. I wasn't being as active.
Oh.
And now
caught
I'm working in a school
Yep.
where the HVAC system doesn't care that you have cystic fibrosis. Your severe mold allergy doesn't matter.
Yep.
And I fell really sick really fast. I was overdoing it. My body was functioning at a 45% lung function, and I'm pushing this metal cart loaded down with stuff for 574 students. to these buildings from 7 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon with a 30-minute lunch break. But while other people are eating for those 30 minutes,
treatment.
I'm coughing and I'm doing nebs
Yeah.
because I don't want to traumatize my kindergartners. Yeah. And so it caught up to me really fast. I remember I went in on a Wednesday morning. I loved my outfit that day. I was like, the activity we're doing, we're starting these new projects, I'm so excited. And I went to the first 2 classes because I had planning in the morning, so it was great. I had my first 2 classes and I was like, I'm really tired today. I'm like really, really tired today. Yeah. But I attribute it to, you know, being a teacher's hard. And being a teacher without a classroom is, guess what, even harder. And
You just thought you were exhausted.
right.
Yeah.
I got to lunch and I'm sitting we had lunch with the other supporting teachers, and I inhaled and I knew the feeling.
Oh, yeah.
It had happened twice in my life before.
Pneumonia or
Blood.
blood?
And I was like, uh-oh. And if you've ever coughed up blood, you know that it's a specific inhale, it's a gargle.
Yeah.
And then your body has the natural reaction to projectile cough, like just cough and cough and cough and cough and cough. And you're choking on a cough and you're choking on blood. I ran to my office, was a old boys locker room with no wall, no windows, no ventilation really. And I stepped in there and it was an open bathroom because it was a locker room, and I was coughing up blood everywhere, all over the floor, all over the sink, all over my white t-shirt. And I luckily was close enough to the PE teacher that I yelled for her, and she came in and I was like, I'm okay. I'm like, you don't need to call 911. This looks really bad. I need you to trust me that I'm okay. But I can't stay. I can't teach kindergarten in 5 minutes because this is the end of lunch.
Yeah.
I said, I need you to take my class, and I need you to take the rest of my classes for the rest of the day, and I'll be back tomorrow. And about a week and a half from that day, I was like, what am I doing? At this point, I had met my boyfriend at the time. We weren't engaged yet. And he changed my entire perspective about my life and about wanting a transplant, and about wanting children, and about wanting to see a day without the burden of CF. And I thought, oh my God, I have to pick right now. 2 weeks after that, I came into my office in the morning. Remember how I said that I had an enclosed office space with no windows? Yeah. Mosquitoes infested all over my office. Mosquitoes love Pseudomonas because they love standing water. So if there's a mosquito infestation, there is standing water. Where there is standing water, there is Pseudomonas. And Pseudomonas is what is killing me. And I thought, I have to quit. Yeah. The night before, I'm not the most religious person. I'm not. But I felt stuck. And I prayed to God again. I said, I need a sign. I need some type of sign because you know that this is what I want to do. But am I risking never meeting my children by staying?
Right.
And I walked into that the next morning, and I resigned the next day. And I had entire grade level teachers coming to help move out my stuff that day and tell me that you know, I was one of the best teachers that they had ever seen, and that they could tell that I had a passion for the job. And, you know, it was hard. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't manageable. You know, teaching alone with a chronic disease, not manageable.
Yeah, right.
Teaching in the circumstances that I was, you know, during my bathroom breaks, I was flushing IVs. Mm-hmm. I was hooking one up and running it through my shirt and sticking it in my pocket, going to teach. And then going back, in between classes, flushing it, setting my alarm for the next one. Then I would go to class. Then I would teach second grade. Ha ha ha. Then I would come out of second grade, go to the bathroom, flush, cry, depending on how the day went, and then go to kindergarten or whatever was next. But I loved it. And even doing those super hard things, I never blamed it on the job. Like the job itself is such a passion of mine, and I still love doing it. And it's one of the other reasons why, you know, I know that I want a transplant, because, you know, I think everyone's put on this earth for some reason, and art teaching might not be my main reason, but it's got something to do with it. So, yeah.
I may have some ideas for that.
I would love to hear them, because I literally am against the wall. Like,
It's not.
I don't know what to do.
There's another CF foundation that does virtual, like, paint with me. You know how they do the going out and painting? They do that. There's one for singing. There's all kinds of things. You know, I've always thought about you in the light of like documentation. Like, if you need a platform to speak on, we will be that platform for you.
Right.
If you want to start doing a series on something, we will help you do that series, and we'll help it. I think that your voice is something that's extremely powerful. I think if nurtured the right way, you could be the single most impactful person to talk about CF, especially at that pivotal time where like lung transplant is going to happen, and we give people like the raw truth of it, rather than the like. Nothing has upset me more than somebody post lung transplant saying, right? Nobody talks about how brutal it is. Everyone in your family will say, "Don't you want to live? What's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
And even me, who hasn't looked down the barrel of that yet, or anywhere near it, it's like, you know, I'm always absorbing what people are saying about their own situation, because it's inevitable at some point. And I think to myself, like, if these people tell me, or if these people tell someone else, and I hear it, that like, why wouldn't you get a lung transplant? That's going to get you 5, 10, 15 more years. I'm going to shoot them. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I'm going to
literally
physically
I hope you
assault
stub your toe.
them. Yeah, I hope you stub your toe. Yep.
I hope you have a bad day.
Mine was a little more aggressive. I can say that it was, I'm sure.
But I
got
feel
canceled.
the same. I feel the same. I think this is something, I don't know if we've spoken like a lot about this, but I never wanted a transplant.
Right.
Ever.
I knew this.
Never wanted one.
But you're stubborn.
It was something that me and my mom would bicker about.
Yep.
Sometimes we would fight about. Obviously, she wanted me to live.
Yeah, of course. Yep.
And from anyone who's not going through it, you would be like, why wouldn't you do that?
Yep.
And it's because, and I'm not going to speak for other people who've had one, and obviously I haven't even had one yet, but just to be in the space that I'm in right now, it is the concept of, yes, you're trading one disease for another, but I actually have some more freedoms.
Right.
Right? If you look at it in terms of freedoms that I have, I have more freedoms having CF than I do a transplant.
Yes.
But I can breathe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, what do I want more? And in that teenage mindset, I was like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. It really did change the second that I met Kendall, my fiance. It was like, I get it now.
Yeah.
I get it when my doctor said, you'll find a reason to change your mind.
You're right. You will.
And I was like, I won't find a reason. Like, I am stubborn.
Yeah.
I was like, I've decided. And it took meeting the person to literally that was my other rib, literally, for it to make sense. Because then it was like, I have these dreams where I can see my children.
Yeah.
I can't see their face, but I know what they look like from behind. I can see them. And but I can reach my arms out and I can't touch them. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I know you're there. I know you're there. And now I have to change the entire way I've looked at my life. Because now my funeral looks different. That funeral that I said I had been planning my whole life and I'd been envisioning my whole life looks completely different now. Because now I have instead of having no kids in the funeral, now maybe I have teenagers. It's just and it's hard to wrap your head around. Because I literally did go from 0 to 100, like what felt like overnight.
But that's your personality.
Right. And I felt, the thing that I think I struggle the most with is I always joke around and say, oh, I can't stand people. That's so not true. That is so not true. I am a people person deep down.
Yeah.
And so the part that's so hard for me to wrap my head around that I feel like not enough people talk about is I'm undergoing a transplant that requires organs from someone who died. It's not a piece of a kidney. Somebody had to die so that I could live. And most likely they had to die tragically. And that's the blunt truth of it. Mm-hmm. And that's when I started to say, we gotta see a therapist. I'm going through these horrible life things right now, these unfair circumstances, and I have to get my head around that? Who said I was better than that person? I do wrong and I make mistakes, and maybe they didn't deserve to die. Why do I get to deserve to live? And so this is this angel devil on your shoulder situation. But instead of there being some solution that you come up with in a week, it's forever ongoing. And now I consistently think about what that day is going to look like. What am I going to be doing? Will I have had coffee in the morning? Will Winnie, my dog, be 2 years old at that point? Will I be on oxygen? And will I get the call and be alone? And then my mom will pick me up. And then we'll sit in a hospital room with all the people that I love. And then they'll ask me to say bye. What do you say to people? It's almost foolish to think that you're gonna talk to those people again. I'm a real person. I'm a realist, right? Is that a word? Mm-hmm. I am well aware that the statistics here favor us never speaking again. What do you say to the people that you love the most for what could be the last time? What do you say? And that's the thing that nobody talks about. What did you say? Those people that have gone through transplants, It's like when people ask me how I'm handling it, I'm not handling it. I'm just getting through it. I'm trying to figure out what are those final moments going to look like. The biggest thing I'm trying to wrap my head around is, my fiance's in the Army. And he's not just an infantryman, he's in the Special Forces. Do I get the call when he's gone, no contact for 6 weeks? No one contacts him until after I'm out? And I never get to talk to him again? Sorry. But that's heavy. Like, that's the hardest thing that I have to wrap my head around right now is, he could go away at the start of a month when I'm on the list, and, I'll never see him again. And all of us who, have spouses in the Army, like, yes, people who have loved ones in the military make a sacrifice. But this feels like a different type of sacrifice, It's like, what do you do? There aren't answers. And telling your family goodbye is not something that you script, So it's definitely, and the testing part of transplant is easy. That's the easy part.
Yeah.
The part of having the blood drawn and the lung function taken and, you know, let us take 5 more x-rays. Let us shove a tube down your throat. Okay.
Yeah.
That's easier than the conversations that happen behind closed doors with the people that you love. And, you know, it's a weird place to be in for anybody, but it's especially weird for a 24-year-old. Like, what?
You've lived 10 lifetimes.
Like, you should hear my therapist. She's like, I almost feel like I should give you a discount because I don't know what to say. I'm like,
Tell her yes. We will take the discount.
I was like, Pete would favor that. Yeah, he would love if you could give him a discount,
No,
right?
they do. They're great.
But yeah. Whoops. Sorry for being emotional.
No, it's good. Emotion's good. That's our good 7 seconds.
So sorry. I only cry when I talk about Kendall. It's so bad.
Well, I mean, you know, the people won't do anything for themselves. They will only do, like, if you have a kid, you will do anything humanly possible.
Right.
So, you know, I know you don't, but you can't hold anything against your mom who is panicking, and she would rip out both of her lungs for you. And I mean, honestly, if given the opportunity to be like, can we switch? She would switch.
Right.
I know that woman.
Right.
And I know moms of kids with CF, like mine, who would say, yeah, take it.
Right.
Take it. There's not even a conversation. Just rip it out.
Yeah.
And for her not to think like, don't talk like that. You're going to do it. I want you to do it. Please think otherwise. Like, she's also trying to save herself,
Absolutely.
not just you. And she's really fighting as much. It becomes instinctual at that point. And I think with Kendall, personally, and I'm not a therapist, I'm an amateur just onlooker, but with Kendall, I think you're starting to feel that kind of, this is my unit, this is my family, this is who I'm taking care of, and I know what he has to deal with over the next year, and I'm trying, because I'm strong, I'm trying to be there for him, but it's not, and that is where I think you're getting very emotional, and you should.
Yeah,
you should. If it didn't matter, you wouldn't.
Exactly. You would do anything to have more time with the people that you love and long for.
Yeah. So. And we, like, I am personally committing, even without the foundation, like, I am committed to you, and the things that you don't need to worry about, you should not worry about, because I will help with those. You need to spend time with your family, with Kendall, with your dog, with your mom, with your dad, and that's what's most important, especially at this time.
Yeah.
This is the hardest.
For sure.
And you're not the exception. I mean, you're the rule. If there's anybody in that 10% that needs this kind of help, that's what we're here for. Might not be able to support it completely, but we're willing to support.
And it just takes one person to see the minority, and then that's how differences are made.
Well, your voice is going to be, in my opinion, and my goal is like the single most important strategy of doing this, is like your voice for these people.
For sure.
Not just that one person that could have the mutation. I mean, think of it that way. Like the one person that's going to be you.
Right.
At some point.
Right.
You're talking to that person.
Yeah. Exactly.